Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the channel. Today we're talking about a old classic. It's Truthear Hexas. These are around $70 to $80 price range, and they were really popular in 2022. Like, I wasn't interested in IEM, but I've seen videos of these, and I put them on my wish list. And I got them in 2025. The reason I bought them in 2025 is that I wanted to have a benchmarking IEM, like a neutral IEM. So today, that's what we're gonna be focusing on. And next, we're gonna talk about the box and what's in it. And the classic Truthear fashion, we have our anime front cover. Like, I think all of them have an anime front cover. I'm not sure about that, but most of them have one. So this is the waifu. In fact, they're so confident about the anime front cover that we have two of them. You open the box, you got this. And another one. They're so confident that you get two of them. But yeah, going back to the box itself, or like the front cover, at the back, we get a measurement. And a bunch of words that we don't care about. So on these, what's in it is just a bunch of paperwork, so we also don't care about that. So we're gonna move on. So in the box, we get a bunch of ear tips, a narrow and a normal whiteboard, I think. I don't use them, but they're okay. They're fine. We also get an memory foam. I hate using memory foam because they degrade so quickly. But you get your choices. You got plenty of ear tips. Next is the pouch. It opens like this. You have your two buttons. And you have your Face Clan logo. Looks like a Face Clan logo. But that's Truthear logo. I'm just joking, but that's your case. And next is the IEM itself. I would say the cable on these are not great. I'm not a fan of it. I think that's one thing outdated about the Truthear Hexas is the terrible cable that they use. I would say the Gates has better cables. These are not that great, but they're usable. So if you're buying a new IEM in 2025, like the competition is pretty fierce. Like you have your Titan S that has great cable, and your RT has fantastic cable too. So I think that's one big outdated part of the Hexas is the cables. And the other outdated part of the Hexas is the nozzle size. So the nozzle on these are really big. They're like 1 to 2 millimeter bigger, or like 1.5 bigger than the other competition. And these are somewhat fixed on the pure. They're smaller, but I don't have pure, so. And they're also different tuning. So if you want a neutral tuning, then you're not getting pure. And lastly, we're gonna talk about the fit and comfort. I wouldn't recommend these on the small ears because they're really chunky. And the nozzle size is also big, so if you have small ears, yeah, they're really not that comfortable. In my ears, they're comfortable because I have big ears, or like deeper ears, I guess. Fortunately, so these are comfortable enough for me. But I can definitely agree that, or I definitely say that they're chunky boy. And now we can talk about the sound. Let's start with the bass. The bass is really, really light. So if you like, if you like a little bit of bass on your life, these are not your set. But they have a decent quality bass, but you wouldn't hear them that much because they're really light. And now for the mids. I would say the mids is also boring side, or like flat, but it has good separation, decent detail, and the vocals are a little bit more forward than I expected. I generally expected the vocals to be like in the backside, like in the backstage side of thing, but they're a little bit forward. So that's where the funness comes for this IEM. And next, the treble. The treble on these are a little bit, just a little bit forward also. You can see on the tuning where it's a little bit elevated. That's, wow, it doesn't want to. So you can see on the on the graph that it's a little bit elevated on the upper mids and the treble side, whatever. So all in all, the easiest way I can explain how these sound is that they're so boring. But I love them for that. Some people really hate the boring sound signature. So you won't get the wow factor when you listen to these. You will get the, oh, I understand why these are good kind of feeling. You won't get the wow factor and some of sort of like plain IEM or like the fun sounding tuning of other ones. So that's it for the sound aspect of it. So what is a good alternative to Truthear Hexas? My recommendation would be the Dunu Titan S. These are the original one, not the successor one, because the successor one has a different tuning to these. So what is the difference that we get from these two? So the problem with the Hexas, it has no bass and boring. And generally, the Titan S fixes that issue. It has more bass, and unique to these, it has more vocals. So if you like vocal forwardness in your IEMs, then these are your choice. So what is the downside of it? The downside of getting the Titan S will be lower detail and lower resolution. But if you don't care about that, then these are your great alternative. I generally think that difference on these two is the vocal and the funness. Like a easiest comparison would be like you're ordering ice cream, that would be the Hexas, and then the Titan S will be your cookies and cream. It's still vanilla, but it has a little bit of cookies in it. So that's how would I compare these two. So I don't have any more comparison in IM side, but I have one similar sounding headphone on Truthear Hexas. That will be the HD 600. When I listen to these and then compare it back to 600s, my opinion of these was these are less cleaner HD 600s. So if you like HD 600 tuning, and a lot of people say HD 600 is boring and analytical, so these can be say the same. And that's the use case for my Hexas. I use them when I monitor something or trying to analyze some sort of music, like a recording. Like in my opinion, they have lesser detail than the RT Titan. I am not recommend comparing them because they're like really different in terms of tuning. But I notice a lot more like a bad recording on my Hexas, even though they have lesser detail and resolution. Would I recommend these? Well, it depends. I would recommend these if you want to EQ or you want to listen to your recording to monitor them. But other than that, it's really hard to recommend these to a normal person. Like, I feel like a normal person wouldn't like these because of how boring they sound. And if you look at the graphs of like the mainstream IEMs or like mainstream tuning, then a lot of people wouldn't like these. They're really boring. So, in the end, to recap, my recommendation for these is if you like boring sound, yes. If you're gonna EQ, yes. And to monitor, yes. Other than that, I wouldn't recommend getting these. Like I notice a lot in the secondhand website Mercari. These are getting sold so much probably because how boring they are. I think that should be a warning to you guys that wants to try the Hexas. Is that they're genuinely boring.